if I was born and how about you move the mic? Yeah. Creak that bitch. Let's go.
I want to make that so painful for everybody. Why is it squeaky now? What the fuck? It was fine 10 minutes ago. Okay.
So I have this great idea on
Cool.
how to be a self-made billionaire.
Okay.
So I would decide to like basically be born in to a family where my dad, who of course is white, would own a sapphire mine in a country in which by law they
Okay.
would segregate black people from white people and
Yeah.
then have them work into
Right.
like an apart society.
What would your name be? Like Leon?
No, let's not go with Leon. Let's go with Elon.
Autistic battery boy, or
And then I would just have these people who were again segregated by law and just disempowered from ever having equal rights. I'd have them pick these little rocks from the ground called sapphires.
Yeah.
And I would just sell them.
Yeah, you pay them, right? Like a little bit.
Like a sprinkle, yeah.
Like $1 a day,
like
or
$1
something.
for like a year or something like that.
Yeah.
And I would take these little sapphires and I would sell them, and then I'd be super rich, and then I'd take that money and then I'd give it to my kid, and then my kid would be like, oh, I'm gonna
smoke weed
make
with a
a
UFC
website and he's
commentator.
gonna smoke a bunch of weed, and then he stumbles into this like brilliant billion-dollar fortune, and then he now lives his entire life and he's just lecturing people about how, why didn't you guys just do the same thing that I did? And so yeah, that's my strategy.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why Elon Musk didn't think of that,
Neither do I.
because he really went the hard way.
Yeah, with all the work ethic.
I thought, Jesus, man, that 100-hour work week. So, I mean,
100-hour work week.
100-hour work week.
100-hour work and fucking harassing people.
Yeah. Honestly,
He's got some sexual harassment cases, right? That's what I was trying to finish. I couldn't finish that sentence. I just fell off in the middle. But
absolutely.
yeah.
In the 100 hours a week, he's raped a few people.
I'm not going to put that on him. I'm not going to put that on him. I know there's at least one
If he did not rape
alleged
someone physically,
case
their wallets.
of creepiness. And then I know he has a legitimate obsession with just nutting inside people. And
doesn't he have like 500 kids?
And procreating. He's got like 11.
Jesus.
Claimed.
Welcome to Liptards and Shy.
My name is Max.
And I'm Monsoor.
Here, we discuss liberalism and what's stopping its progress, all while drinking way too much Arabic tea.
Which is called Shy.
So, come on in.
Okay, so Elon Musk's dad obviously owned an emerald mine in apartheid South Africa. Jeff Bezos, when he made Amazon from nothing with all his hard work, he just had only like a $300,000 seed capital from his parents and some other rich friends. Why don't you have that?
He's adopted too, right?
Yeah. Why don't you have that? Have you ever even seen?
Why don't I have rich friends?
Why don't you have $300,000 of seed money?
Because I don't have rich friends. That's why.
Yeah. Or what about you just be like Bill Gates and just have your mom sit on the same board as the CEO of IBM, and then she'll just convince him to like take a risk on your new company and just like give you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why don't you do that? Or why not just be like Warren Buffett and then have your dad be like the super powerful congressman who also owned an investment company? Have you ever thought about doing that? Because
honestly,
you know what my parents did? My parents were stupid. They just decided to be engineers.
Yeah, they worked for a living.
What a bunch of dumb fucks.
Mine did that too.
It is really.
What were you thinking, Mom? You dumb piece of. No.
Yeah, why didn't he just decide to be a billionaire? Like, bro, just work hard.
Fucking bitch.
Yo, Brody, if you just put like 100 hours a week and like, look at all these people when they're like 21, they're partying, they're smoking, they're doing, and I'm at home and I'm like just working hard and I'm busting my butt. And I'm gonna realize my dream.
Now.
You know?
I love that voice.
Yeah,
it's a really good voice. You should only do that from now on.
Have you ever seen that?
Why is that every dude we went to high school with too, by the way? God
Dude,
damn.
yeah, it's like, look, man, you got to visualize your dreams. Like, it ain't over until you win. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, it's nice running into people sometimes from high school, and then like 3 minutes into it, I was like, oh no, it's not.
This
it's
is
not,
why
it's
we weren't
not.
friends
It's
in
not.
high
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
It's funny how people change so much and don't change at all.
yeah. It's funny how people just like read a book and then others didn't. That's what I meant.
By the way, here's a story about reading a book.
What'd you get all fucking? It's like, nah, I just learned to read a book. Bro.
I was in Arizona and I was at a what's it called, Lake Mojave, and I was renting out a jet ski, and I didn't have an ID. I had my college ID at the time, and Cal State Fullerton when I was a freshman did not have picture IDs.
Oh, just a name?
Just a name.
That's weird.
And so the lady,
Oh, your school's poor.
I kid you not, she said this. The lady, she saw my name. She thought I was Jewish. She looked at the
No, bro. She saw your nose and thought you were Jewish. All right, don't even fucking do that. She saw my name. No, this racist white lady does not know what a Jewish name is, all right? She saw that fucking schnoz and was like,
So she looks at the thing and she says, what? You don't have pictures in Jewifornia?
Ooh.
I swear to God, she said that. And I replied to her with, no, we know how to read.
Out of context.
You know?
Good comeback.
But it's...
Jewifornia is wild.
Yeah, Jewifornia.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking crazy?
It's not Jewifornia.
I mean,
It is not Jewifornia.
No, just Los Angeles.
No, not even Los Angeles, dude.
And that's why we have all the good deli meat.
Also, depending on like where you are in
New
Los
York.
Angeles, it's like...
Yeah, it completely depends on Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Los Angeles is one of the
where you
most segregated cities in America. It completely depends on where you are in Los Angeles. Dude, you can trip and like...
Go to fucking Watts. You'll be begging for a Jew, lady.
Right. It could be a completely different place.
Yeah.
All right, so today's episode, basically, it's a pretty simple point. We're here to make a case that I don't want to live in a world where billionaires should exist. And some might say
Hold up, chill, bro.
Well,
I'm trying to be a billionaire. This is what they're gonna say.
Okay, let me break this down to you. You're never gonna be a billionaire, ever. There are like 2,000 billionaires in the whole world.
I got a really good podcast though. It's taking off, bro.
I mean,
we got new mics. It's fucking sick.
The idea that these guys who are like the people who I name, which is Bezos and Buffett and Gates and all these guys, and Elon Musk, that they are somehow self-made. I mean, that idea is so stupid. It is so ridiculous to me. These people have hundreds of billions of dollars.
No, they already came from more wealth than the majority of human beings will ever have.
And the money they have now is such a ostentatious amount of wealth. You cannot spend. Dude. You cannot spend.
Elon's going to be a trillionaire soon. Elon and Bezos are going to be trillionaires.
I mean,
by the time we're like 40.
If you had $1 billion, what was that thing with the whole seconds you told me about? You saw?
I don't know if the numbers things, but I saw like a YouTube thing where it's like a million seconds is 11 days, and then a billion seconds is like 33 years. Right, or some crazy shit like that.
We act like they're just one extra step, but there's the degree of
because
scale.
when you write it down, it's like it's just an extra zero. It'd be like, no, dude, it's fucking.
It's an extra
you have to spend
zeros.
$33,000 a day for 66 years, every single day, to spend $1 billion.
Right, and
so for 66 years, every day of your goddamn life, you were buying a Honda Civic.
A Honda Civic is $70K?
Fully loaded Honda Civic. No, 33,000.
Oh, 33,000.
33,000. A fully loaded Honda Civic.
Jesus. No, I mean, dude.
Power windows and everything, dude.
Dude, when you have like two. The road dome.
Do you remember when
room?
Yeah.
There's no console so you can slide over.
That was a legitimate choice when I was like buying my first car. I was like, do I need power windows?
So what kind of car is it?
It's like a 90-something Honda Civic or something.
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, geez, I thought that was like. Yeah, okay. I thought that was industry standard.
Yeah, I went with power windows just because I decided I wanted blowjobs.
Oh, yeah.
No one past 2002 has gotten their dick sucked in a car with rolled up windows.
Ever?
Never. Do you know anyone that's gotten their dick sucked in a car with rolled up windows? Exactly. Doesn't happen.
Oh.
Doesn't happen.
Oh.
Doesn't happen.
Oh, interesting. Huh. You know what? Let's forget the whole episode. Let's turn this into a sex podcast. I mean, there's we're talking about like a billion and a million, the differences between them, and you really cannot spend all this crap. It really is what it really comes down to. When someone wants to own $200 billion, it's avarice. It's excessive greed.
Is what?
Avarice, excessive greed.
Just say greed, motherfucker. Like, why do you gotta say avarice?
Because I have to sound
why
like
you gotta
an
use
ivory
billionaire
tower elitist.
Yeah, but why you gotta use billionaire words when we're shitting on billionaires?
I don't think it's billionaire
Step
words.
outside of the framework, you fucking bitch. Avarice.
I love how we're like preaching intellectualism, but then we're like shitting on.
We're not preaching intellectualism. We're preaching just fucking common sense shit. Also, I don't think we're preaching. I don't think we have anything to stand on preaching. I once puked on a duck, okay? I can't preach on anything. If I'm preaching, something's going wrong, bro.
God,
If someone's looking up to me and be like, "Yo, Max, you know what's up, man," I was like, "Oh, we're fucked."
I think there's a a trauma center where that duck sits with its other duck
With
friends.
the other duck friends.
And the guy's like, my quack is not as deep as I want it to be.
Yeah.
Your quack, motherfucker. I got vomited on. You're a quack.
He's got an eye patch. He chain smokes Newports.
He beats his kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to now ask ourselves a question, which is, does someone really earn $1 billion? And the answer is no, of course not. No one earns money. No one earns that kind of money in a vacuum. I'm going to run through a little scenario. Okay. For example, with Amazon. Amazon, forget the AWS. We're just going to focus on the
AWS is their website hosting service, which is where like 90% of their fucking revenue comes from.
Right.
You cannot do business on the internet without doing it with Amazon.
So you have the giant supermarket. Okay. So their trucks pick up stuff, and those trucks are driving on what?
Roads.
That are paid for by the public.
Yes.
And the roads, they're being policed by police who are being paid for by the public.
By the public.
When somebody violates their copyright, they, first of all, have to patent their technology in the U.S. Patent Office, which is paid for by the public. And when somebody violates those patents, they take them to court, which are paid for by the public.
Yeah.
So the internet, the person who paid for the infrastructure to build the wiring of the internet was subsidized by the public. Just like how the telephone lines were subsidized by the public, and the electric lines were subsidized by the public, and the railroads were subsidized by the public. In fact, since the founding of the country, the United States government has played an active role in spending money to grow the economy. It has been an active ally in growing the economy. This is why one of the first government institutions was the United States Patent Office.
Is that not the job of the government to some degree, though, to grow the economy?
Of course. And so this idea that these like this idea of the self-made man, this pioneer who bowled himself up by the bootstraps
and did it all on his own.
No. And this is not to say anything about the fact that the only way somebody like Bezos can make that kind of money is by squeezing the living shit out of every dollar from every single one of his workers, which is why they pee in bottles and not bathrooms. And that's why when they die on the floor of his factories, people keep working.
I know a dude who works at Amazon. As a
it is
driver.
Fucking grueling.
He's not having a good time.
Yeah, it's fucking grueling, And
the drivers are way better than the warehouse workers.
Right.
Like infinitely better.
I mean, you earn $15 an hour, but you steal $1 billion. And so this entire premise of, these guys should be able to keep it. The real reason why somebody who is poor, like you and me, and everyone else who is not a billionaire compared to them that we're poor. The reason we say shit like, they should be able to keep it is because we have deluded ourselves into the fantasy
that we can one day be them.
We'll one day be them, which will never happen, right?
No.
And so
never.
What does it mean? What does it mean that I don't want to live in a world without billionaires? I mean that we should tax them out of existence. I don't think that Elon Musk or Bezos or Buffett are evil because they're billionaires. I think that human beings will follow the incentive structure of any society you build. We have built a system that allows you to buy yachts and write them off. But then if you're a teacher, you have to buy supplies for your own classroom. We've built a system in which nurses are criminalized and called killers, and they're thrown into conspiracies with COVID, and they're underpaid and they're understaffed. But then
they're also massively overworked. They're forced to do 12-hour shifts during training.
Right. But then billionaires
in nursing school, they have the first section of it is we're just going to work 12-hour days.
Right. And then billionaires can buy a fucking giant plot of land, build a museum on it, and then say, this is open to the public, and then get a giant tax write-off on it. But then the museum is surrounded by all of his private land, so no one can get to it.
Yeah.
Which happens all the fucking time. I mean, there's all of these crazy loopholes. And they're like the Congress is lobbied by billionaires, and it's written for them.
Congress is an agent of billionaires.
1,000%. And this is what I mean by it's a criminal enterprise. And so, I mean, if you have your money in the market, which I do by having a pension, your money is it's not clean. And so, am I here to say that nobody deserves to have any money? Of course not. But if your money is in the market, your money's not clean. You should be able to have enough money from your work to be able to buy and own a home and retire comfortably and have health care and go on vacation and be fulfilled.
Which is unequivocally not the case right now. The generation above us, the whatever the fuck our parents are, they're not retiring.
No.
They are not retiring.
I mean,
we might know some like people on an individual level
right.
that are going to be able to retire. En masse, though, they're not
Not at all.
retiring. We're not retiring. We're not owning homes. We're not getting Social Security and Medicaid.
We'll pay into it, but we'll never get a dime.
No, it's just going to be gone way before we ever get to it.
So,
Bro.
I mean, this is...
Or
this,
with our luck, it's going to be like 2 years.
And why is it that
and
we
just
can't
take a
afford
dump.
to pay for Social Security? Why is it that we can't afford to retire? It's because they've taken all of it.
Mm-hmm.
They have taken all of it. And so you are talking about like people have this really weird self-hatred. They're so easily willing to be exploited. Like, for example, a company, they will hold a reservation for you, or you'll buy a ticket from them, and then they don't provide half the service. And they say, oh, okay, I can live with that.
That's extra.
Flip
That's
the script.
extra.
Flip the script. Imagine you go to a airline company, and you say, oh, I only have half the money for the ticket.
Well, I don't fly.
You don't fly,
Or here's Spirit Airlines,
which means you don't fly.
which, I fly.
I have a theory about Spirit Airlines, which is that I think there's engines on it, but they're actually just for show.
Okay.
And what they do is they actually put you on this giant slingshot, and then some guy who's gets paid, does all the math, and it's like a catapult, and then they just catapult.
So you don't actually fly. You're just
No.
catapulted
You're
by
just being catapulted from city to city.
900 Mexicans.
Right.
Yeah,
That's so good.
it's not good. Also, actually, to your point, though, Spirit Airlines gets a bad rap because it's a shitty airline, because it is a shitty airline.
Yeah.
But they're insanely profitable because they reel you in with the low ticket price, and they say, hey, do you want a seatbelt? That's $20.
Do you want water?
Yeah. Hey, do you want water? That's
Yeah.
$20.
You want to not get fucking
Yeah.
pissed on?
And I was like, oh, you wanted a seat without HPV? Well, that's an extra $20. And we're being hyperbolic and crazy in our examples, but they do. They
charge for
clean
water.
up
They
in their
charge for water.
They clean up in their extra services though. Everything's fucking extra.
Right. And so I mean, like you're
So even poor people are getting squished out of it.
I mean, it is no doubt that it's, first of all, it's more expensive to be poor in America. You know, like things cost more when you're poor. Like
Everything costs more.
when you're poor, right? Like payment plans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like being able to pay something fully in cash is a humongous advantage.
That's a huge fucking
Right.
luxury, dude.
So I mean, you're talking about people ask the question like, you know, do they deserve it? Do they deserve to keep that money? Obviously, the answer is no. So what does this mean? It means that like this is a society. What is the point of our liberalism? What is the point of my progressivism? It's I want to build a America that is a true meritocracy. Now, conservatives like to talk about meritocracy, but then they're very against.
Conservatives think there actually is a meritocracy, like right now.
Right. Even though they are totally in favor of letting a billionaire give his billions to his child.
Well, they just don't read history books. That's the only thing.
There's an allergic reaction to it, isn't there?
Yeah, it's kind of like when Ben Shapiro sees like wet pussy. What's that gynecological issue? If you have so much wetness and you need a mop, then you should call a doctor. Like, what the fuck,
I
dude?
hate how he talks.
I hate how he breathes. I don't like his face.
People act like, because he talks so fast that he's
Yeah.
smart. I feel like it's just having an aneurysm.
No, he doesn't. He's just like, let me throw in a 3-syllable word every other sentence
Right.
and talk like I just shoved a gram of cocaine up my asshole. That's how he talks.
See,
It's disgusting.
if black people just complied with the police, then they wouldn't have this problem.
Why don't black people graduate high school? What's doing that?
Yeah. No, it's not that there is a history of systemic racism, which is over 13 years ago. It's that there is a difference in the culture.
Ooh, the culture.
Oh,
Oh, so good with that.
Yeah. That's some like fucking just like a sprinkle of like, so there's some Nazi
Yeah,
spice on my
that's-
fucking
yeah.
cake. I mean,
It's not even a good argument.
no, it's a horrible argument. But to return to money and the people who have it, the people who own Ben Shapiro, I mean, money is a finite source. And so, first of all, you cannot have everyone be rich.
No.
You cannot. And we talked about this in our union series. When the called American middle class was created in the 1950s as a product of unionization, that was when the share of wealth owned by the top 1% was the lowest in America. It was around 20%. That was the lowest. That's because taxes were high. The highest income tax bracket was 91%.
Right.
and because people had money. Every time a billionaire or anybody owns a dollar, that is a dollar you don't have. So it's I love it when we hear this idea of like, oh, you know, we don't like to talk about money.
That means you're rich.
That means you're rich.
That means you're rich.
Right. And it's always the people who are at the top of the power structure who say, oh, don't focus on that. You know, why do we always, all these white people on Fox, like, why do we always talk about race in America? It's like, because it doesn't affect you and it affects us, you know?
Because it stops us from talking about money and class.
Exactly.
That's another huge thing.
So we have to, you know, get over the cancerous idea. We have to be able to come tell ourselves that, first of all, every single dollar you make is not owed to the collective, but is a result of collective funding. You go to work on a road paid for by American citizens. That road is policed by and funded by American citizens. When someone violates those rules, they go to a legal system that is funded by American citizens.
Police might not be a great example, but okay.
I mean, the police are the only reason why people don't drive a million miles an hour on the road, right? Like, I'm not.
Yeah, because they don't want to get shot.
What do you mean?
That's why they don't do that. Okay, we're gonna.
No. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that the history of police and currently police is used as a tool to protect capital and oppress certain groups.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like someone has to do this job. It could be done a lot better.
Do they?
Someone has to. I mean, it's that or cameras. I mean, have you seen? Dude, you're from California.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen how people drive out here?
You have family in third world countries. Do you see how they drive out there?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, there's traffic laws are not a thing outside of the United States, dude. There's suggestions.
That's because police will ticket you. That's not a cultural.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, someone has to do it. I'm not saying that. Like, I am not a abolish the police kind of guy.
Okay.
I am hey, let's defund the police so that, and we spend that money on better services, and that they realize that they don't have a unlimited budget in which they can, first of all, waste the people's dollars, and that they're on thin ice.
I don't know if defund's the answer. Poor police departments tend to be more corrupt. More corrupt tends to be more brutal. Take New Orleans, for
There's
example.
definitely a debate for that. But my point is that, like, not to get too off the tangent, all facets of life, the court system, the patent office, intellectual property, like when we post this podcast, we have legal protections that protect our intellectual property.
Yeah.
It's not worth very much, but it's ours.
I think it's next to nothing.
It's literally,
the email that I get.
as close to zero. It is asymptotically as close to zero as possible.
It's actually negative.
Actually,
it's technically negative.
It is negative.
It's technically negative.
But it's our negative.
Yeah. That's...
We own that negative.
Aww.
And no one can steal it from us.
Yeah.
We're in the muddy. Come on, naughty. I mean, it's a pretty short episode. It really is, because it's a pretty simple idea. And it's an idea that not only half the country does not believe in, but most fucking Democrats don't believe in. It was Democrats who got rid of the 70% income tax.
They first proposed it, yeah.
It's the Democrats who deregulated the airlines.
Do you know why they did that?
Why?
To gain conservative votes.
I mean,
that was the reasoning behind abolishing the wealth tax. He's talking about the marginal wealth tax, which is like, if you talk... It's like a 70% marginal wealth tax. So let's say you make $10 million. I forget what the actual numbers are. But if you make $10 million, you're taxed normally. $10 million, $1, you get 70% of that extra dollar over $10 million is taxed.
So every dollar after $10 million
every dollar after $10 million is 70 cents. Yes.
That you pay to the government.
That you pay to the government, which is reasonable.
If you can't live off $10 million,
and you can argue what the fucking, if you want it to be 20 million, fine, whatever, fine. I'm cool with that.
Like, if you can't live off 10 million, bro,
suck dicks.
There's a cliff.
Suck dicks.
There's a cliff somewhere.
Suck
you
dicks.
can jump off it.
Or stop doing drugs.
You have
or find cheaper
social
drugs.
responsibility.
Heroin is so cheap. It's so cheap.
Like, does it really need $10 million?
Like, here's how cheap heroin is. Drug addicts can afford it. That's how cheap it is. That's how cheap it is.
It's within the range of a blowjob.
I can steal some copper wire and then suck a dick, and now I have heroin for a couple days.
Damn.
Actually, you have heroin for a couple hours, depending on how much heroin you use.
Yeah, I don't think they're.
But that's a personal issue.
I don't. Yeah. Or Ben Shapiro will be like, "That's a discipline issue."
That's a discipline issue. It's a lack of. It's a lack of strong male.
But I mean, seriously,
where's Jordan Peterson when you need him?
Clinton got rid of Glass-Steagall. Carter got rid of deregulated the airlines. Democrats don't believe in this. Most Democrats don't believe in this.
No, because they're extensions of these billionaires.
Most Americans, we talked about this in a previous episode, they identify
They're
up.
employees.
And
Yes.
so this has to die. This is one of like the zombie lies of America. Self-made billionaires. This is like clean coal. This is like what's it called? Oh, this is my favorite one. This is absolutely my favorite one. One of these lies that won't die. Trickle-down economics.
That's the best one.
Where it's just like, hey, we'll hoard all this money and then
Yeah.
we'll literally drip our urine.
Yeah.
And you can like eat that.
Yeah, when you take a piss and you gotta like flick your dick.
Yeah.
We got dick flick money.
We got dick flick money. And by the
Yeah.
way, we don't even get the dick flick money.
No.
We get nothing.
No.
We get nothing. We just get fucked. So it's a pretty simple episode. You either can, if you're, the only reason you should be against taxing the rich is two
If you're
reasons.
rich.
One, you're rich. Two, you hate yourself. That's it. That's all the time we have. Deuces, bitches. All right.
I'm gonna talk to him about the deuces. Don't worry, guys. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been Liptards and Shy with Max and Monsoor. Make sure to join us again next week for an all-new episode.
Please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Wherever you are and whenever you are, have a good morning, good evening, and good night.